Now, it's no secret that in fans' eyes, if Golovkin loses this weekend to David Lemieux, his marketability, in my opinion, his career is done. Now, I'm not saying he won't continue to box anymore, but at 33 years of age, with all the money and the hype and the marketing that HBO has put behind him, if he was to lose, it would be really detrimental to his career. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live, and I cover every single major fight live. I'm going with Golovkin, but David Lemieux does have a puncher's chance. We know that David Lemieux is not coming out there to box. David Lemieux is coming out there to put a boot in Golovkin's ass. Now, David Lemieux is not a boxer. He's a pressure fighter, power puncher, to where Golovkin is a mixture of a good boxer, a good pressure fighter, a great power puncher, and he will knock you out. One thing I don't like about Golovkin is sometimes he takes too many unnecessary punches, and he's saying, okay, yeah, Mexican style. He's saying it's because he wants to show people that he can take a punch, but at the same time, this is a sport where it's all about hitting and not getting hit. Floyd Mayweather Jr. It's a fight that I'm hyped for, but at the same time, for some reason, I feel that David Lemieux doesn't have a chance. I feel that David Lemieux is going to get knocked out. David Lemieux has been knocked out before. David Lemieux has been outclassed and beat up by Joakim Alcine, to where Golovkin, the only weaknesses we have seen from him is he was taking some shots from Willie Monroe. He was taking some shots from Gabriel Rosado before he smashed Gabriel Rosado face in. He was taking some shots from Curtis Stevens. And I'm thinking, well, this is the first time that he's going up against a real solid, heavy-handed fighter. How is he going to bear, and with so much at stake? Okay, for example, this is Golovkin's first fight on pay-per-view. He's a non-American fighter fighting on American pay-per-view, fighting in an American venue, one of the biggest venues in America, in Madison Square Garden. And his promoter, Tom Loeffler, said that, of K2 Promotions, said that if the pay-per-view does 200,000 pay-per-view buys, it will be considered a success. Gotta bear with me. Asthma. But I'm trying to convince myself that David Lemieux has a real solid chance. Now, I know there's a lot of people out there who are not GGG supporters. I know there's a lot of people out there that think that GGG is just a hype job. There are people that are saying that he's been fighting nothing but bums, but he's been fighting the fighters that have been put in front of him because he can't fight Al Heyman fighters. He can't fight PBC fighters. So it's like, why is he getting so much shit for not fighting guys like Danny Jacobs, Peter Quillen, Miguel Cotto didn't want to fight him. Saul Canelo Alvarez, that's a fight that can happen in the future. A lot of people don't understand that Golovkin, if he beats David Lemieux, he'll be the IBF, WBA Super World, WBC Interim, and IBO Champion of the world. So people say he should have fought Andre Ward, or he should have moved up to fight Andre Ward. It makes no sense. Andre Ward is not even fighting at 168 pounds anymore. Get it through your head. He's fighting at 175 pounds. So for you to say Golovkin, who's a fighter that never weighed in any more than 162 pounds, for you to say he should fight Andre Ward, I would love to see the fight. But what kind of sense does it make? Golovkin has to win. Golovkin has to win impressively. I didn't like during the face-off where Golovkin was talking about the Curtis Stevens situation, about how he wanted to punish Curtis Stevens, and David Lemieux had like these wandering eyes. He looked a little bit shaken up during the face-off. He looked a little bit intimidated. Now, I'm not saying that Golovkin's not intimidated himself, but Golovkin seems as though this is just another day at the office. He doesn't seem as though that he, like, how can I put it? He doesn't seem as though he's afraid he's not showing any type of discomfort with fighting a guy like David Lemieux, who's been just running through his opponents. Multiple knockdown situations. But still, when it comes to boxing, it's all about skills paying the bills. And the question I ask is, who is the better boxer? Who is the better fighter? Who is the more, what fighter can you say is more hyped up, David Lemieux or Golovkin? I say David Lemieux. You know why? Because David Lemieux, if you say Golovkin hasn't been fighting anybody, look who David Lemieux's been fighting. Okay, yeah, he got Hassan N'Dam, pretty good fighter. Yeah, he's got Gabriel Rosado, pretty good fighter. He's got Fernando Guerrero, a somewhat known fighter. But still, his resume is not better than Golovkin's, in my opinion. I stuttered there, so that was 3 G's. That was a mistake. But, ladies and gentlemen, it's supposed to be a fight where we're supposed to see Mexican style versus Canadian style. It's supposed to be a fight where we're supposed to see Golovkin's coming out party. It's supposed to be a fight where Golovkin's going to be on the pay-per-view trail from now on. I say if he beats David Lemieux and that pay-per-view does, I'm predicting it's going to do around 300,000 pay-per-view buys. As I said, they're saying anything over 200,000 is a success. They've had an HBO 24/7 or Road 2, and they had a HBO face-off with Max Kellerman. Boy, I got to get ready. It seems as though, remember, it was a point in time during every single major fight, like I would get sick, whether it was Pacquiao or Mayweather. Now I got the GGG bug. But you got so many people, celebrities alike, following the GGG bandwagon. And I'm not saying it's a bandwagon because to say it's a bandwagon is just saying that he doesn't have real fans. He's built a real solid following. He's built a following to where fans really believe that he can clean out the 160-pound division. And guess what? I'm convinced. I'll be more convinced after this weekend because, see, depending on how he does against David Lemieux, depending on if David Lemieux doesn't come into the ring scared, because for some reason, I'm thinking that David Lemieux is going to come into the ring scared for some reason. I don't know why. I'm thinking that he's going to come into the ring scared and he's not going to come with that same tenacity, intensity that he's came in with previous opponents. And that's what's scaring me because this is a pay-per-view fight. I want to see David Lemieux give it his all. I want to see him go out on a shield. For some reason, we may see, I'm predicting that we may see David Lemieux try to box Golovkin. And he's going to lose either way. Only time will tell. I'm T Street Controversy. This is T Street Controversy Live. I got Golovkin by knockout. David Lemieux does have a puncher's chance because we know that Golovkin takes some shots that he shouldn't be taking. And he says, okay, yeah, it's the Mexican style. But still, it could be a defensive flaw. Is he defensively flawed? Taking some of the shots he's been taking from guys like Curtis Stevens, Gabriel Rosado, and Willie Monroe, and even Ousmane Wadama, as I said? Or is it really him trying to show that he can take a punch? We'll just have to see. The winner, of course, wants to, well, okay, put it this way. Golovkin and his team are saying that they're not stepping aside for a Cotto versus Canelo rematch, however it goes. They want their WBC title shot next, whether it's Canelo or whether it's Cotto. So you got to think that it's going to go to a purse bid. And the winner of this fight, we'll be seeing Canelo. I mean, we'll be seeing like Lemieux versus Cotto, Lemieux versus Canelo, GGG versus Canelo, GGG versus Cotto. We have a good, nice, solid tournament right here. And depending on how these fights go, there could be rematches. T Street Controversy Live.